Hey guys. Hey, I hope everyone can hear me. I can see there are so many people from different places, and so yeah. Good evening, people all around the globe. This is Andreas from Tallinn speaking, and today we're going to talk about how to use gamification marketing to reach and convert new customers. So I hope you're all got your notebooks ready, and I suggest you to open at least a Word document or a Google Docs or anything to make some notes and write down some ideas, because I have something that I want to cover today, and I really want so that you also think along so that you get more value from it. And I know I participate in those webinars as well, so it's normal to you listen to one ear and you're doing anything else at the same time. So, but I really suggest that you pay a little bit of attention so that you understand more, and you take a look at the slides as well, and so you remember it better. And so gamification in marketing is becoming an essential that no marketer can overlook anymore, because it has been a hot topic for the last few years, but now it's like becoming inevitable, because like the attention spans are decreasing, the noise is getting noisier, and so it's harder than ever to grab attention and stand out, and you're competing with everything that's entertaining, fun, and instantly gratifying. So, and the good way to, what is the antidote for this modern digital landscape is gamification. And, but yeah, as I said, like although gamification has been around for a few years and many marketers are interested to apply it in their marketing, they're still struggling like where to start, because there's not that much information out there. There have been a lot of talks about how to use gamification in products and how to gamify or leaderboards inside the products, but how to actually use them to convert customers, how to use them to generate leads, and so on. So our 6-step journey for the next 45 minutes will be that at first I will answer some common questions regarding gamifications that are probably on top of most of your minds. Then we'll talk about methods for finding ideas, and I will also show you one live example on how I will create ideas like improvised way. So then we talk about how to set up marketing goals and what KPIs you can achieve. Then we talk about how to implement gamification into your marketing funnel. Then we talk about creating ads and promoting the campaign. And at the end, how to maximize leads and squeeze the most out of them. So I hope you're excited. A little bit about me. I'm Andreas. I joined Adact a year ago. It was in the middle of pandemics, and at first, like many investors and mentors told us that marketing budgets are the first one to cut, so it will be really hard for you to get started. Actually, what I noticed that is companies like didn't stop their marketing because you still have to bring food to the table. So what they did is that there was a shift. Like many companies moved the majority of their media budgets from offline to online. This increased digital competition radically. And so companies were looking at cost-effective ways to grab attention, stand out, and engage customers. So therefore, we didn't have any problem to get started. And we have like global brands who have used Adact from many different industries. We've had insurance companies, financial companies, all food tech companies, B2B companies, and also public organizations. For example, one of our users who's using gamification very successfully is European Parliament. They're using it to communicate their messages, and I actually, because they are also competing with all the noise that's out there. So and I actually feel that maybe gamification is the key to communicate those important social messages to the people in the modern world. So, but now the first question that is probably that many of people are thinking, and if you're going to start selling the idea of using gamification into your CEO, that's probably the first question that he will ask: who actually plays those games? Like, who has the time for that? And my target audience are not teenagers. Well, sometimes many marketers and company owners tend to assume many things, and they tend to use their gut feeling too much. So let's look at the numbers. Statistics of India. Why I use India is that I know that majority of the people are actually from that country right now, and it's one of the largest countries in the world. So what happened in this 1 year was actually a game changer, because many got hooked into the games during lockdown. And now what the statistics are showing is that 80% of the casual gamers are over 30. And there are and many people are playing it like on a daily basis. Like, as you can see, like over 80% of the Indian population play mobile games on a daily basis. So this isn't now. So the gaming itself is not something that only young people or only boys are doing, because also 72% of the women gamers are highly committed gamers in India. And the behavior looks like this: that usually most of the people like play in 10-minute increments, and it's like and the overall in one day they play over an hour. And there are many people who play also like in one sitting they play in one more than 1 hour. But actually, so they are also all. So people are very open to interactivity and mobile gaming. They're used to it. They're becoming more used to it. And but also what we have seen is that it doesn't even matter if the player is like a regular gamer, because if he's able to use social media, if he's able to use YouTube, then he's interested in interactivity, and he can play those simple browser games that you can use for marketing. And about the gender, also segmentation, like we haven't seen any. I haven't tried to draw some kind of patterns and say that how many are more male interested in games or more female. Actually, it's hard to say. It depends all the time. It depends all the time on the target audience, and usually it's like 50-50. If the target audience isn't like focused on like, if it isn't like women cosmetics brand. And also we have seen the same with ages. I have also tried to draw patterns on, are there some age groups that are more keen to gameplays and marketing games. Actually, it also doesn't really matter, because it depends on who you're targeting. So we had a company who has targeted 18 to 24, then yes, that's what we see on Google Analytics. But if he's using if he's targeting to over 50 people or like the whole crowd, then he has those people like playing the game. So it depends on the target audience. And what we've actually seen is that if the target audience is like the whole population, or like if it's a food brand that you can buy at the supermarket, then we see that the engagement lengths are maybe slightly higher, aging 30 to 50. So yeah, that's maybe, but yeah, also I still see that it depends on the case. So, and one more thing before I go is that do B2B people play the games? Is also the one question that people always have, is that they assume that when people finish the work, they become B2C, and when they start in the morning and like when they arrive in the office, then they become a different human being and they become a B2B. Actually, it's still the same humans, still the same psychology. Those people are also interested in interactivity, and they also make their decisions based on their emotions. So gamification is a good way to boost the freshness and emotion part into the B2B marketing as well. So do games in marketing work? Let's show you a comparison on the engagement links. So with print ads, we have like 40.7 seconds is the average engagement link, how long a person looks at the print ad. With outdoor ads, it's 5.5 seconds. With online banners, when a person is scrolling, then if you get 1 second, then you're lucky. But with gamification campaign, what do you think? Write down, as you can see, the chat is on the right. So write down a number that comes to your mind. What might be the average engagement length with gamification marketing campaigns? Okay, yeah, we have one offer there. So the average engagement length is, so the correct answer is 9+ minutes. So it will be 9, we have seen it ranges usually from 5 minutes to 16. It is the average engagement length. So the people are very engaged, and then some people like play them for hours. Like for example, we had on our record holder is like one grandma who played a memory game, like simple memory game where you had to pair like the same pictures. There were salad packages. He played it for 4,300 times. In 8, and it was 18 hours of total gameplay in 3 weeks. And yeah, I took a look at her profile just out of curiosity, like who plays the game so long. And then yeah, it was quite visible that she was a grandma, or at least her age was a grandma. And one other campaign, as you can see, like very simple design on the game, like it's not and you can see like the different cosmetic objects are falling down and you need to catch them. The first place played the game. This is like one sitting without the game over. So the one game without ending was 2.5 hours. Second place was 2 hours and 4 minutes, and the third place was 1 hour and 55 minutes. And they also wrote in the comments on Facebook that they played it so much on the weekend just to get the first prize, so that their hands were sore. So yeah, and actually I can only imagine like how was the evening like when he arrived at home, for example, on 6 p.m. saw an ad, opened it and finished it 8:30 p.m. or something like that, and it was already time to go to sleep. And one thing that is also that differentiates gamification from different other types of advertising is that customers have 100% focus. You can't multitask when you're gaming because yeah, it's not something that you can do on the background like with other type of advertising you can do. Like when you're listening to radio, you're driving the car at the same time. When you're looking at TV, you're making a sandwich. But yeah, with gamification, it's not possible and you know that if you look at the engagement length numbers, that you can be certain that those people were actually focused on this. So yeah, and the completion rates are also very high. Like 98% of the people who start the game usually finish it and they see the end screen, and then they get memories for weeks or months, because this kind of encounter won't be saved. This kind of experience won't be saved into the short-term memory, but into their long term. And the bounce rate of the games are 16 to 23%. So if you put it on the landing page, then you can rapidly decrease the bounce rate of a landing page. So in short, gamification marketing are a good way to stand out, to increase traffic to your website, to generate leads, to raise brand awareness, to reduce bounce rate, plus increase average engagement length of your web page, which is good for SEO. You can increase your domain rank if Google sees that you have enormous engagement lengths on your web page. So, and this is something that you can do. By the way, one person asked on the chat, I noticed now that Morgan asked, is this pre-recorded? No, this is not pre-recorded. I'm live, but I'm live right now. So let's talk about the 4 rules for effective gamification. The first rule is that you need to have a rewarding feedback. Second is that you need to have a simple interactivity. And thirdly, you need to use 2 to 3 action. And fourth, you need to make him lose in the first 45 seconds. So now let's jump more into detail. So the feedback has to be the reward of an action. Like there's a thing called intrinsic rewards. It means that you get like a feedback. That's like a subjective thing that people have different opinions about it. But if I give you a random point, and I don't say for what you get it from, then it has no value. So the games are able to do it, so that you're giving a point. Wait, let me wait 1 second. And and also what Kalev, a previous webinar, said, I really like this, that he said that life is one of the most boring games out there. Like life won't give you any feedback, and it's very hard why people are struggling to be determined with their goals is that they don't see any progress. So the gamification is something that we can signify the progression, but yeah, he has to understand like for what he's getting feedback for. So, and the feedback elements, what I'm thinking about that is that the leaderboards, badges, points that you can get in the game are the things that you should use. So, and the second thing that is very important is that you need to have a simple interactivity. If you use more than 2 different game mechanics, it will get too complicated. So what are the characteristics of a simple game mechanics? So it is that you have 1 button to press, and the game has no tutorial. Like it requires no tutorial. You can like say in 1 sentence what you have to do. Usually with the drop games, it's avoid trees. Or something, avoid bad objects, and that's actually all a player has to know before they start the game. So that's something that you should look for. So if you find out see some kind of gamification campaigns, then take a look at if you can play it like very simply, just pressing 1 thing, and if you're able to like start the game without reading a tutorial until you understand it. Because why it's important why is actually the interactivity, the simplicity is important, is that customers have a limited brain power, and we need to save his brain power for our marketing goals. Like we don't want him to get too engaged with the game. Like we don't want him to focus on the game dynamics, because if the game is too complex, he will only focus on that. He will not notice our logos. He will not notice the agenda behind the game, and he's also harder to convert later on, because he's like so into the game. And what is also something that many creative people are struggling with is that they're too afraid that maybe the game is like too boring, and then they start thinking about all the different ideas that you can put into the game to make it like more cooler and more complex, more interesting. Actually, what I always say to them is that you're not targeting people who are interested or are looking for a game to play. You are targeting people who are surfing the web. They're relaxing. They're in a relaxed mode. They're basically browsing zombies who are scrolling the feed. So, and even on a Facebook feed, you don't even have to click to start seeing the videos. Like everything happens automatically. So you can't expect him to start reading some manuals and then play the game for many times to actually cope with the game mechanic. And yeah, we need to save his brain power for the later, so that they have the mind on the purpose. And one also proof that why people love simple games is that what is the most downloaded video game? What do you think? What might be? Well, I can say that it is not Fortnite, it is not PUBG, it is not CS:GO. Although these games have hundreds of millions of people downloading it, Because the correct answer is Candy Crush. Candy Crush has been undisputed for 10 years almost, and then people are still looking to play these kind of games. And actually, if we look at like what do you have to do in Candy Crush? Like the only motion that you do is you use your thumb and you either drag it right to the left to the right, up, down, and down to the up. So and if you get tired, then you start using your index finger. So basically, that's all you're doing. And yeah, this game works. So with more about how to actually what does it mean to with the simple interactivities, that if you're using different actions, then pick one action, and then ideally you use one. If you need to go use two, then that's also okay. But yeah, try to keep it one. And what is also important is that you need to have a gradual increase from the 6th second, because then a person needs to understand, okay, the game is getting harder, and you need to make him lose in the first 45 seconds. You need to end the game on a peak. That is very important, actually, is that if you're aiming for huge engagement lengths, then you need to keep this in mind, because when a player can play his first gameplay for 2 minutes without losing, then he will close the game, end of story, and he's gone. When you make the game too long, then you're lowering the chances for people to reach the end, and it happens if you exceed the peak point. So yeah, let's say someone plays a game for 45 seconds and they are enjoying it. Then at some point in that timeline, there's a peak when they're enjoying that the most, and that's usually in the 45 seconds, and then it starts dropping down. So we need to end the game on that certain peak, because that's the highest chance that someone thinks, okay, I think I can do better next time. And yes, it sounds impolite to cut the game off while they're having fun, but enables to like it even more and makes them eager to start again. So if you end the game too late, then they're not going to replay. Like when you're looking at Netflix, like people watch movies, and they usually they watch one movie and they go to sleep. But with series, they watch hours of them, because every episode ends on a most gripping situation. So the same effect you should apply in gamification as well. So let's talk about a little bit how to create the game. So at first, think about what's your purpose. What are you trying to promote? Is it an existing product, a new product? What you're trying to achieve? Is it leads, conversions? Are you trying to educate your customers? What is the new uniqueness in your service? Is it extraordinary quality? Is it uniqueness? And then now let's talk about how to actually brainstorm different ideas. So at first, look at what's on your arsenal. Do you have some kind of videos, texts that you can use? Do you have a mascot? Like for example, that was the one reason we created mascot for Adact. And do you have some visuals and prizes that you can use? And I will go over some a quick how you can come up quickly with a game idea. So what I do now is that I will share my screen. Now, I talked to Monestro, and he said it is okay if I use their example. So let's pretend that I work in Monestro and I'm interested to start using gamification campaign. So why I use this example is that they are a fintech company, and you can see their target group are these men from over 45, and so what would be the game that they would be interested in, and where I would start? What's my process with coming up with game ideas? Is that at first I will start looking at on the web what are some of the things that we can use in the games? What are the different elements? So I can also see over here there are some numbers that are associated with the product. Maybe we can use these. Okay, good. Let's look at more. Okay, here we have some kind of how it works process. So we can create a game around this. We can make it so that people have like a personality test, but we can build it in a way that they like play the whole process. At first, they will be an investor or a borrower, and then there comes up a text that okay, now you need to find which is the right loan to give the people. So yeah, we can make a game around this process. Then what we can also let's take a look at their blog and see if something there. Oh, okay. What I can also already see, there are some alternative investments investors should consider. So we can create a game around that trivia game. How much do you know about alternative investments in 2021? Test your knowledge and see if you have potential scoring this year and increasing your profits. Then what we can also, let's see, here we have, for example, okay, why you should use auto invest. So there are different arguments here that we can use. Maybe okay, maybe actually, okay, where should investors invest? That's actually something that we can use. Okay, invest in property, precious metals, B2B lending, invest in cryptocurrencies. Okay, so luxury assets. So we can use them in a game. So let's say one game that comes to my mind is that let's go to our games catalog and see. Here we have Smash games. So the different objects are coming over the screen, and we can use put those metals and luxury assets and the different investment opportunities here, and we can use the slogan that how many investments at one time you can handle can be the game. So yeah, this was me coming up with a simple game, and now I will go back to the presentation. So yeah, you can, and if you're promoting, yes, if you have a mascot, think about if you can make them act. If you are promoting a product quality, is maybe a strength or durability, something that you can show, maybe, for example, how long can you last, and create a Super Mario-based runner around it. And maybe if it's something that, a product that is very strong, then you hit it with something, create the whack-a-mole around it. Then when you're promoting product components, then you can use each component as a separate game element, just like I used with this Monestro example. And when you're promoting a product packaging, then stack the packages on top of each other. Then the person has to gaze at the product all the time. Then when you're promoting a service quality, then speed, you can use a reaction game around it. For price, use collection game. And if you're promoting a service uniqueness, then yeah, those did you know quizzes, personality tests. For example, yeah, for Monestro, one thing that they could also use as fintech companies that find out which type of investor are you, because although those people may not be interested to I don't know, fortune wheel, but they're still interested to get to know something new about themselves. So personality tests is something that you can use in that scenario. So now let's talk about the tips for creating the design. You need to show the prices. If you have them, if you're raffling out the prizes, then you should keep them visual so that people can see it. Then you should show your product and your brand is something that you need to keep in mind. So for example, yeah, this is the tower stacking game that I mentioned before. So the customer has to stare at the product. So if you can combine your product inside the game, your brand inside the game, then that would be perfect. For example, here we have a chips company where they had their own package here and you need to catch chips into their package. And keep in mind that 90% of the players are from mobile. This is something that many designers tend to forget. They get too excited to about creating the desktop game. So they look at the desktop browsers and they see that there's so much free space that they can use, and they start come up with different elements and include them on the background. But then I will also always say to them that take a look at how small the screen is on mobile. You won't have the space for there. But you can also you can like promote your products. So for example, here we have chocolates that were underneath the game while the person was playing. He was also able to see their chocolates as well. So now about creating text in the game. This is actually something that I really want to cover, is that you need to keep them as short as possible because as you know, manual is not needed, tutorial is not needed. So yeah, here we have a very short game first screen. Play the running game and see how financially fit you are. Get at least 100 points to participate in a raffle. So that's it. You don't have to say anything more. But you can spice up your copy a little bit. So, for example, here we have Ego, who had a game, Candy Crush-based game. So Ego family is preparing for spring games. Help them put together teams of 3 and let the egg games begin. So yeah, adds a little twist and makes it more colorful. And if you're using ads creatives, then show prizes, use short phrases like win and play, show your game, because that's something that catches attention, and make the design similar to your game page, because that decreases the drop rate. And if you're creating and use buttons, if you have a clickable ad, then yes, that's also a good thing. And you should have different visuals for different ad placements. As you can see here, they were using in different places on their ads, so each had their own size, their own design. And tips for media planning. So you should use different channels, and then use as much channels as you like. You should treat it as a link that you need to drive traffic. So use anything that you can. But pro tip is that you get a lowest cost per gameplay in Facebook. You can also even set it up, set an event with Facebook setup tool so that the play button will be looked as a purchase button, and then you can like optimize the Facebook campaign so that you only pay per gameplay. And but also we've seen like the Google Ads network, Google Display Network works, some other like banners work, emails work very well as well. And change the visuals throughout the campaign period to make if you want to run the campaign longer. You can have like with one visuals you can run the game for 1 month. But usually if you want to go longer than that, then you need to have something. You need to change them. And what you can also do is to use your players' emails to create lookalike audiences. So if you have the game ran for about 2 weeks, then you create lookalike audience from all the emails, and you can start targeting them. And we've seen that actually gets the lowest cost per clicks. And use different visuals for different target groups. So for example, women and men. And so the different goals that you can achieve with gamification. So how the process works is that customer sees an ad, then he plays a game. The game will be, we recommend it's on a separated landing page because then customer will be able, then the bounce rate is the lowest. Many people have asked me, is it possible to embed the game inside a Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn feed? Then the answer is no. Those social platforms don't allow that type of interactivity on their feed because probably the reason is that they want to keep the user scrolling. So you need to have it. You need to drive traffic from there, and then you can get in touch with the leads, and there is a remarketing. So, and if the leads are very important for you, then you should ask the context before the game. So, and you don't need to worry about the drop rate because actually we don't see a very huge decrease with the bounce rate. When you ask the emails before the game, then when you don't ask the emails, when there's only just play button, then the bounce rate is usually 16% on average. When you ask the emails before the game, then it's 23 usually. So it's not that big of a deal. And you can use text-based games to get more information for every lead. So with that Monestro example, why I would recommend to use text-based games, so that you're able to get more information about every lead, and you can like make personalized offers for those people based on their game results. And one company, like they had, it was a home decoration company, and they had a simple personality. They find out which type of home decorator are you, and they showed their own products in the pictures. And so after the game, after the 3 weeks, they had over 9,000 leads, and they knew their preferences, and they were able to make segments based on which products to which people like, and start like targeting them quite personally. So there were like segments of hundreds of different people. So if our goal is to reach new audiences or brand awareness, then this is one case study that I can show that it's a Candy Crush based game. So at the left you see a media numbers, and on the right you can see the gameplay numbers. And the gameplays was over 400,000, and the average engagement length was actually, with this campaign, it was 26 minutes. So the average person played 39 gameplays in a row. So we started again for them 39 times. And what you can also do is that what I also mentioned before, that you can reduce bounce rate and increase engagement length of your web page. So here we have one reason, so that the game will be embedded into your homepage. So now gamified marketing funnel to convert new clients. So what about the results? Can you actually convert new clients with gamification? So when people land on your game page, then usually 75 to 82% of the players start the game. Then 92 to 98% finish the game, and 10 to 30% are clicking to the next links and are ready to become your customer. So, for example, how one financial industry company built their funnel is that they had ads on Facebook. So the people landed here, then they play the game, then they got the results, and there was a loan registration embedded inside the game, and so they were able to convert new customers this way. And when they clicked there, they were shifted to directed to a next link where they were needed, because in financials you need people credentials. And so now to talk a little bit about also to put into your shoes, how to actually start the process. So what I would first do is that now I will share my screen again. So now let's pretend that I'm a marketing manager of Monestro, and I'm interested to stand out with my marketing in the finance industry. And there are actually a lot of restriction in financial industries, but the games are a good workaround so that I can able to do other ads, not only sales ads, like sales offers, come and become an investor. So we already talked about the game idea. So I already have a game idea. So now what I would do is that I will post ads on different on where my target audience is. So in this case, they're probably on LinkedIn, they're probably on Facebook as well, and maybe I have some newsletter list. So I will use 3 channels. I will start run ads on those, and then invite them to come and participate in a game. So and then I would use, I would play with. At first, I will use those educational game to get more information for the leads, and the purpose would be to use it as a way to get the information about the leads. So the game, find out which type of investor are you, or the game find out how much do you know about the investment opportunities. So that is, I think, I would use as a lead magnet. And then what I would do is now I have a Facebook pixel set up, and I would also have a LinkedIn event set up. So then now I will able to retarget them on other ads. So, and I would, for that, I would use A/B testing. So I would use retarget ads. I would use it for like the games for the first one would be that become an investor. So that maybe that you have a unlimited offer right now that you can get some credit and become an investor. And the second will be a second game. So I would use a second game for retargeting, and that would be that more playful game, like find out which type of different investments you can handle at the same time. So yeah, I would use a game as a way to nurture lead as well. But yeah, the process, but the games would be, I would set up them on a separated page. So it would be monestro.com/game. And then when a person lands here, then I would make it so that there won't be any menu up there, only the game. So with only one button to click, start playing. And after the game, when they finish the game, then they can click after the game on become and read more. I would not immediately say that become an investor. I would say read more, and then the page would jump right here where you can read more about it. And after that, I will direct them to start investing, and I will have events set up on all the different phases. So I'm able to retarget people who are stuck or dropped on a certain phase. So yeah, this is a quick example how I would start the process and how I look at it. So yes, you can use games in buyer journey, like awareness, consideration, and the decision phase, and you can use them to bring attention and stand out, because games are contagious. You can use them for consideration stage. You can give information to help people decide, and you can use games also for immediate conversion. So one last case study here is that it was a event in Estonia, event for Python developers. So what their goal was to to sell more tickets than the previous year. So what usually you do with events is that you have a certain period when you can buy discount tickets. But what they did is that they didn't have it a certain period, like for until 1st of June, you can buy your ticket for 50 euros. What they did is that they created a fortune wheel, spin, and maybe you win some tickets or merchandise. And 90% of the players were able to win a discount ticket. So actually, yes, it was meant for everyone, but they still felt that they won it. So they saw the conversion rate were much higher, and were able to sell out their whole room that they booked. So I hope to see that you see yourself using gamification in the future. If I can help you with anything, then book a demo here. Then book a demo for Adact, and I can brainstorm you ideas. For example, if you're stuck somewhere, if I can also help you figure out if you want to find out the different ways to use it in your marketing funnel. So yeah. Book a demo with us. You can see the offer is, you should see it now. And then, we can go more into detail and more personal. And you can see that you can decide for yourself if gamification is something that you would like to use. So I'm now looking at the chat room as well. Yeah, one person asked how to use games for a category like finance. I hope I covered this part. If I didn't, then feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, actually, it's so nice to see like this like this booming crowd of actually next generation marketers who are interested in gamification, and I see that probably in the next few years, like most industries are going to use gamification. And if you take a look around in your industry, then probably you won't find anyone, which is actually good news. That means that you get to be the first. You will be the pioneer in your industry, and in the next few years, probably when the competitors will be copying you, not the other way around. So yeah, be first, and now you have an opportunity. Like gamification is the next thing that is growing right now, and that you can start using it. It's a good way to stand out right now. So, okay, I really thank you for your time, and I hope you really enjoyed it and you expanded your marketing knowledge. And I will see you on our next webinar on the demos or on LinkedIn. Feel free to send me messages. I really like chatting you on LinkedIn as well. That's all from me now. Bye.